Hello, Home Daily Bible Reading, Friday, July 17th. God's wisdom trumps human commands. Mark 7, 9 through 15. So yesterday we talked about, or the 16th, we talked about Jesus, the Pharisees coming to Jesus and saying, hey, these people have unwashed hands. Why are they defiling themselves? And so Jesus continues to take them to task. He says, he starts in verse 6 talking about Isaiah called you hypocrites because with your mouth you worship me, but your heart and your lips, but your heart is far from me. You don't even know who I am. So he continues where we are today in chapter 7, verses 9 through 15. He says, and he said unto them, full well you reject the commandment of God, that you may keep your own tradition. So he's already told them that the washing of hands is your tradition. And he says, for Moses said, honor your father and your mother, and whoso curses mother or father, let him die the death. But ye say, if a man shall say to his father or mother, it's Corban, or it is a gift, by whatsoever thou mightest be profited by me, he shall be free. So Jesus is saying, you have taken your traditions and you have put them above commandments. Well, we find out in Ephesians that honor thy father and thy mother is the first commandment with promise. You're promised long life if you honor your father and your mother. Okay, so the Pharisees and the scribes have created their own tradition. Why did they create their own tradition? Because they're not about the fatherless and the widows and the orphans. They are about their own gain. So if the people come to them and say, hey, I don't want to honor my father and mother anymore. Let me give a gift. Let me give a monetary gift. Let me give you something for that so that I don't have to honor them anymore. He says, thou mightest be profited, he shall be free. And suffer him no more to do what he ought to do, what is right by that person for his father or mother, making the word of God none effect. Through your traditions. Some traditions are not even worth fighting over or not even worth having. But the scribes and the Pharisees have created these traditions and they are calling them commandments. And these commandments have made the word of God of none effect, which you have delivered, and many such things like them. And when he called the people to him, he said, this is talking about Jesus, hearken unto me, every one of you, and understand, there is nothing on the outside of man that entering into him can defile him. So if I take my water can't defile me, because Jesus is not really talking about natural things. Jesus is talking about spiritual things. But the things which come out of man, those are the things that defile him. Okay? So you really have to be hearing what Jesus is saying in order to understand what he's trying to get the people to see. If I pick up a pencil and put the pencil in my mouth, I'm not defiled, but that's what the Jews, the Pharisees and the scribes and the leaders have told the people, because it's their tradition. They go into the temple and they wash the pots and the pans and the brazen altar. And yes, it needs to be washed. And yes, it needs to be clean. And now they've made a tradition. Everything you do, after everything you do, you go to the store, you go to the market, you pick up something, you go wash your hands. If you do this, go wash your hands. If you do that, go wash your hands. And they've made it a commandment. And that's not what Jesus is telling the people. Jesus says, you've taken all of your commandments and you've taken all of your traditions and you have made them a commandment, and now you've made the word of God none effect. So here we are, Home Daily Bible Reading, the wisdom, talking about wisdom for the whole month of July 2020. We're talking about Mark 7, 9 through 15. It's July 17th, 2020. This is Evangelist Sharon Liner out of Houston, Texas. God bless. God bless.